Silent attractiveness is one of those rare qualities that's hard to define but impossible to ignore. It isn't about being loud, flashy, or constantly trying to be the center of attention. In fact, it's the opposite. Silent attractiveness is all about an aura of calm and composure. A sense of quiet power that makes people naturally gravitate toward you without you having to lift a finger. The best part, it's not something you have to force or fake. It's about cultivating a genuine self-respect that shines through in everything you do. Now, what does it really mean to be silently attractive? It's about confidence, yes, but not the kind that demands validation from others. It's the confidence that comes from being secure in who you are, independent, grounded, and guided by your own values, not the opinions of others. This is where Stoic philosophy comes in, providing a timeless blueprint for developing the habits that make you effortlessly magnetic. Stoics weren't concerned with impressing others. They understood that true value comes from within, and the most attractive people are those who are completely comfortable in their own skin. Imagine someone walking into a room not seeking attention, yet still commanding it, not with words but through their calm demeanor and the steady strength they exude. That's the essence of silent attractiveness. But how do you develop this quiet magnetism? How do you go from being a passive observer to someone people naturally admire? In this video, we're going to dive into 11 habits, 11 small but powerful shifts you can make in your everyday life that will transform the way people perceive you. These habits are rooted in Stoic principles, so they're not about performing for others. They're about becoming the best version of yourself without needing to shout about it. And here's the thing. When you stop seeking approval and start living with authenticity, the respect and admiration you attract will be genuine, not fleeting. As we break down each of these 11 habits, you'll see how simple shifts in mindset and behavior can cultivate this irresistible, silent presence. From mastering your emotions to embracing discomfort, these habits don't just make you attractive, they make you unforgettable. Stay with me, because as we explore these principles, you'll begin to realize that silent attractiveness isn't something that can be forced or fabricated. It's a natural byproduct of living true to yourself, and the more you embody these habits, the more you'll find people drawn to you without you even trying. So, let's get started. True independence isn't about shutting yourself off from the world or rejecting help when it's offered. It's about standing firm in your own values and making decisions based on who you truly are, not the expectations others place on you. It's about being comfortable in your own skin, knowing that you don't need anyone's approval to define your worth. It's a quiet strength that comes from understanding yourself deeply and living in harmony with your personal principles, regardless of what's trending or what others think you should be doing. Independence is attractive because it signals inner strength. It tells people that you don't rely on external validation to feel good about yourself. In a world where so many are desperate to be liked or admired, independence stands as a quiet rebellion, a refusal to conform. This self-sufficiency makes you magnetic. When people see that you're not chasing their approval, They become drawn to the confidence that doesn't need to scream for attention. It's the subtle power of knowing who you are and standing by it. No matter what, you might be wondering, how do you develop this kind of independence? It's simpler than you think, but it requires some deep inner work. The first step is reflection. Take the time to really understand what matters to you, what you stand for. This is not about following trends or mimicking others. It's about uncovering your own core values and embracing them without compromise. Your decisions should come from this place of self-awareness. When you live in alignment with what truly matters to you, you start to operate from a place of strength, and this is when your independence begins to earn respect. But here's the thing. True independence doesn't mean rejecting connection or support. It's not about being an island. It's about knowing when to rely on yourself and when to allow others into your world without losing sight of who you are. There's a certain magnetism in someone who is secure enough to lean on others but still holds firm to their own values. They aren't swayed by external pressures. They make decisions that align with their internal compass. The more you live authentically, the more you embody independence in everything you do. Your choices, your actions, and the way you carry yourself will all reflect this inner strength. People are drawn to this quiet confidence because it's rare in a world that often prizes conformity over individuality. When you stop trying to fit into boxes that others have created for you, you become the kind of person others can't help but admire. In the end, embracing authentic independence doesn't just make you attractive to others, it frees you. You're no longer bound by the need to please or perform. You live on your own terms. And that's where true power lies. Silent elegance is one of those qualities that seems almost intangible yet impossible to ignore. It's not about having the right words to say or sporting the most expensive outfits. True elegance comes from within. It's about how you move through the world, how you make people feel without saying a single word. It's about carrying yourself with composure, kindness, and an air of grace that leaves a lasting impression. When you embody silent elegance, you exude an effortless magnetism. People notice you without you needing to draw attention to yourself. It's not about being the loudest or the most obvious person in the room. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's about stepping into a space and commanding respect through your calm demeanor, your poised movements, and your ability to listen and connect with others without needing to take the spotlight. There's something incredibly powerful about someone who doesn't need to boast about their accomplishments or seek validation. Their presence alone speaks volumes. Now, how do you cultivate this kind of silent elegance? The first step is to be intentional with your presence. It starts with maintaining a composed, confident demeanor at all times. You don't have to be perfect, but the key is to be present in the moment and approach each situation with a sense of calm. This is where the subtlety of silent elegance comes into play. It's not about forcing attention, but allowing your actions and energy to naturally draw others in. One of the easiest ways to start embodying silent elegance is through your body language. It's often the small, unnoticed gestures that create the most impact. Standing tall with your shoulders back not only makes you appear more confident, but it also helps you feel more grounded. Maintaining steady eye contact with others shows that you are engaged and present. But it doesn't have to be intense or overbearing. It's about being calm, assured, and respectful. Another key aspect of silent elegance is the way you listen. People can tell when you're genuinely interested in what they have to say. The act of listening attentively, without interrupting or waiting for your turn to speak, is an often overlooked but deeply impactful form of grace. It shows respect for others and creates a deeper connection that doesn't rely on words. Your actions, no matter how small, can leave a lasting mark on those around you. And it's these moments that cultivate the silent elegance that others are drawn to. In addition to body language and listening, a big part of silent elegance comes from how you handle stress and adversity. Composure under pressure is perhaps the most powerful expression of silent elegance. People are drawn to those who remain calm and collected when everything else is chaotic. It's not about never experiencing stress, but about how you handle it when it arises. When you show that you can maintain your cool, even in difficult situations, you demonstrate a level of self-mastery that others find magnetic. In the end, mastering silent elegance isn't about perfection, it's about authenticity. It's about being present, being kind, and holding yourself to a standard of grace that isn't dependent on external factors. It's about creating an environment around you where people feel respected, heard, and valued, without you ever having to raise your voice. There's something about scent that goes beyond just a fragrance. It has the power to evoke emotions, trigger memories, and even influence how others perceive you. It's one of the most subtle yet powerful tools for creating attraction. Often without you even realizing it, a carefully chosen scent can leave an impression that lasts long after you've left the room. It's not just about smelling good, it's about the aura you project. The invisible but undeniable presence that lingers in the air. When you wear a fragrance that suits you, it becomes an extension of yourself. It speaks to who you are without uttering a word. A simple scent can communicate confidence, elegance, and sophistication, signaling to the world that you take pride in how you present yourself. It's a silent but compelling way to make an impact, and it works without you needing to say anything. People might not be able to put their finger on it, but they'll notice you. They'll be drawn to your presence in a way that feels natural and effortless. But how do you choose the right scent? It starts with understanding that fragrance is personal. Just like your clothing or the way you carry yourself, your scent should reflect your personality. The key is subtlety. An overpowering fragrance can be off-putting, but a delicate, well-chosen scent can capture attention in a way that feels sophisticated and refined. Think about the scent you want to associate with yourself. Do you want to project warmth, freshness, or maybe something more mysterious and seductive? Whatever it is, choose something that feels true to you. A fragrance doesn't have to be bold to be effective. In fact, the most powerful scents are often the most understated. A light, sophisticated fragrance will leave an impression that lingers long after you've walked away, while a heavy or too strong scent can overwhelm and fade quickly, losing its impact. It's about balance. just enough to make an impression, but not so much that it becomes distracting. When you strike that balance, you communicate self-care and sophistication without needing to shout about it. The beauty of scent is its ability to evoke a sense of mystery. It's something that catches people off guard in the best way. It makes them curious, pulling them in, but without demanding their attention. There's an elegance in how a simple scent can create a connection, drawing others in without you having to do anything at all. When people encounter you, they remember not just how you looked or how you spoke, but how you made them feel, how your scent added to the entire experience. And here's the thing, scent doesn't just make you more attractive, it makes you unforgettable. It's a subtle yet powerful tool for creating a lasting impression. The next time you choose a fragrance, think about how it can work for you. Choose one that reflects your unique personality, one that feels effortless but leaves a powerful, lasting impact. When used thoughtfully, scent becomes an invisible yet undeniable part of your presence, making you more alluring and sophisticated without you having to say a word. In today's world, where distractions are constantly vying for our attention, there's something incredibly powerful about someone who is fully present in the moment. We've all been there, sitting across from someone, but feeling like they're somewhere else entirely. Maybe their eyes are darting to their phone, or their mind is clearly elsewhere, and it creates a sense of disconnection. On the other hand, when you encounter someone who is truly present, who listens with genuine interest and engages with focus, it's magnetic. Their attention feels like a gift, and that's what makes them stand out. Being fully present isn't just about being physically in a room. It's about being mentally and emotionally there, giving your undivided attention to the person you're with. It means being fully engaged, without letting distractions pull you away. It's rare, and that rarity is what makes it so captivating. In a time when most people are distracted by notifications, screens, and endless thoughts racing through their minds, someone who can truly focus on the here and now becomes an oasis of calm and attention in a sea of noise. To practice being fully present, start with one simple but powerful habit. Focus on truly listening. When you're having a conversation, really hear what the other person is saying. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. Make eye contact, nod in understanding, and show that you're completely engaged. This doesn't just make the other person feel valued, it deepens the connection between you. People can tell when they're being listened to, and that makes them feel respected, understood, and even admired. When you give someone your full attention, you're showing them that they matter to you, that their words are worthy of your time and energy. In addition to listening, being present means putting away distractions, especially your phone. We all know the temptation to check your device when there's a lull in conversation. But that small action can have a big impact on how others perceive you. The act of constantly checking your phone or glancing at your notifications sends a subtle message. You're not as important as the next thing. But when you set your phone down and show up in the moment, it communicates the opposite. It says, I value you, and right now, nothing is more important than this conversation. Being present also means being mindful of the moment. It's not just about focusing on the other person. It's about being aware of everything around you. The body language, the tone of voice, the energy in the room. All of these are clues to what's really happening. When you tune into these subtleties, you become more attuned to the needs and feelings of others, which deepens your connections in ways words alone never can. There's power in presence, and it's a power that doesn't require any grand gestures or loud proclamations. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing how to give someone your full attention, how to make them feel truly seen. And when you master the art of being fully present, you'll find that people are naturally drawn to you, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you've offered them something rare: your time, your focus, and your genuine interest. Mystery is one of the most captivating traits a person can possess, not because it's designed to be elusive, but because it sparks curiosity. It creates a sense of wonder, making others wonder about you, about the things you've yet to reveal. There's an undeniable pull to someone who seems to have layers, someone who isn't easily understood at first glance. Mystery invites people to dig deeper, to learn more, and it keeps them engaged in ways that simply being an open book never can. What makes mystery so attractive is its power to spark curiosity. When everything is laid out in front of someone, the sense of discovery fades. But when you keep certain parts of your life private, when there's an element of the unknown, it becomes a puzzle people want to solve. It's like a book that leaves just enough room for interpretation, a story that doesn't give away all the details at once. That sense of intrigue is magnetic. It makes people lean in, wanting to know more, wanting to unravel the layers you've kept hidden. But maintaining mystery isn't about being dishonest or manipulative. It's about being selective with what you choose to reveal. It's about knowing that not everything needs to be shared immediately, and that some things are better left to be discovered in time. People appreciate when you give them a glimpse into your world but don't overwhelm them with all the details at once. The most magnetic people are the ones who leave a bit to the imagination, who know how to balance openness with privacy. One of the most effective ways to maintain mystery is to avoid oversharing. In a world where we're all encouraged to broadcast every aspect of our lives, there's something refreshing about someone who doesn't feel the need to share everything. Instead of talking about your every move, every thought, every opinion, let others come to their own conclusions. Let them ask questions and leave room for them to want to learn more. The beauty of mystery is in the unknown. It's in the things you keep to yourself, the parts of your life that remain private and intriguing. In conversations, this can mean holding back just a little. You don't have to share your entire life story the moment you meet someone. Give them just enough to be intrigued, and then leave them wanting more. Let them ask questions, let them dig deeper, and let that curiosity build naturally. By doing so, you draw people in without ever having to make a grand statement about yourself. What's important to remember is that mystery doesn't mean being closed off or distant. It's about maintaining a sense of depth, of having more to you than what's visible on the surface. It's about creating a space where people feel like they've only scratched the surface, where they're eager to learn more, but you're in control of when and how you reveal yourself. The key is to maintain a delicate balance, be open, but keep some things just out of reach. That's where the real magic lies. Cultural wisdom is one of the most enriching forms of knowledge, yet it's often overlooked. It's not just about understanding facts or history about other cultures. It's about developing an openness to learn, to listen, and to understand perspectives that are different from your own. In a world that's becoming increasingly interconnected, cultural wisdom allows you to move through life with a deeper sense of respect, empathy, and insight. It's about seeing beyond the surface, about enriching your conversations and experiences by drawing from a diverse range of influences. Why is cultural wisdom so important? It allows you to break down barriers, whether they be social, racial, or ideological, and helps you connect with people on a deeper level. When you embrace different cultures, you open yourself up to an entirely new way of thinking, living, and interacting. It challenges your assumptions and broadens your understanding of the world, which ultimately makes you a more well-rounded, insightful, and empathetic person. There's a richness in cultural wisdom that can transform your entire perspective on life. When you start to understand and appreciate the subtleties of different cultures, you start to see the beauty in diversity and complexity, and your worldview expands in ways you never thought possible. So, how do you develop this kind of cultural wisdom? The first step is to broaden your horizons. This doesn't just mean traveling, though that's certainly a great way to gain exposure. It means seeking out experiences that push you outside of your comfort zone. Learn from people who have lived different lives, from people whose experiences are far removed from your own. Seek out diverse perspectives. Listen to stories, and let them challenge your thinking. When you start to truly understand where someone is coming from, you begin to understand the world in a more nuanced way. Reading is another powerful tool for cultivating cultural wisdom. There are so many books out there that challenge your views. Books that open doors to worlds you may never have thought to enter. From fiction to non-fiction, reading widely allows you to explore different cultural landscapes without leaving your home. Books can take you to places where your mind can wander freely, letting you experience life through the eyes of others. And it's not just about reading to learn facts. It's about reading to deepen your emotional intelligence, to see the world through the lens of those who have walked different paths than you. Most importantly, embrace a mindset of genuine curiosity. Instead of approaching new cultures or unfamiliar ideas with skepticism, approach them with a sense of wonder and a desire to learn. When you're curious, you ask questions, you listen intently, and you allow yourself to be challenged. This willingness to learn and evolve is what ultimately helps you develop cultural wisdom. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a lifelong journey of learning, reflecting, and growing. Incorporating cultural wisdom into your life doesn't just enrich your understanding of the world. It enhances the way you connect with others. It gives you the tools to navigate complex social dynamics, to engage in meaningful conversations, and to build bridges where others might see walls. When you embrace cultural wisdom, you become someone who can understand and appreciate the vastness of human experience. Someone who can see the world not as a collection of differences, but as a tapestry of unique stories that enrich us all. Compassion is often misunderstood as simply being kind, but it runs much deeper than that. It's not about grand gestures or acts of charity. It's about the small, everyday moments where you show up for others in ways that make them feel seen, heard, and valued. Compassion is the heartbeat of connection. It's that genuine care you offer when you listen to someone without judgment, when you offer them a moment of comfort in a time of need, or when you simply smile, knowing that even the smallest gesture can make a difference. True compassion doesn't expect anything in return. It doesn't seek validation or recognition. It comes from a place of pure, selfless love. It's about being present for someone, offering them your time, your attention, and your understanding, without the need for reciprocity. Compassion creates an invisible bond between people. It brings warmth, trust, and a sense of security that can help others through difficult times. In many ways, it's the glue that holds human connections together, the quiet force that deepens our relationships and makes us feel less alone in this often chaotic world. One of the most powerful ways to show compassion is through simple actions. It could be as small as offering a kind word to someone who's having a rough day, or listening to someone who just needs to vent. Compassion isn't always about fixing someone's problems. It's about being there for them, offering them a safe space to express themselves without fear of judgment. The beauty of compassion is that it doesn't require you to have all the answers or solutions. Sometimes, just being present, lending a patient ear, or sharing a smile is all it takes to create a moment of connection that can have a profound impact on someone's life. In my experience, some of the most compassionate acts are the ones that don't require much effort but speak volumes. It's the friend who texts you just to check in, the stranger who holds the door open when your hands are full, or the loved one who quietly sits with you in silence when words don't seem enough. These moments, though small, are filled with love, empathy, and understanding. They create a space for vulnerability and trust, and they remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. Compassion, in its truest form, is about offering a sense of comfort and security to others, letting them know that they matter, and that someone cares. But what makes compassion even more powerful is its ability to inspire. When you show compassion to others, you not only make their lives better in the moment, but you also create a ripple effect. The kindness and warmth you share can encourage others to do the same, spreading compassion in ways that are far-reaching and lasting. It's like a chain reaction of goodwill that continues to grow and strengthen as it passes from one person to the next. And while the acts of compassion you give may seem small, they accumulate, forming a strong foundation of connection, understanding, and love that can transform lives. Ultimately, compassion is the heartbeat of humanity. It's the quiet strength that binds us all together, the force that makes us care for one another, and the foundation on which meaningful connections are built. Compassion isn't about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about showing up, being present, and offering kindness, even in the smallest of ways. And in doing so, you create a world where love and empathy thrive, and where every person, no matter their struggles, can find a moment of comfort and belonging. Self-care is often misinterpreted as a luxury or something that's purely about pampering yourself. But in reality, it's a deep and necessary act of respect for your mind, body, and soul. It's not about indulgence. It's about making intentional decisions that prioritize your well-being. Self-care is the foundation of everything. It's what enables you to function at your best, to give to others, and to show up in the world as your most authentic and grounded self. Without self-care, we risk burnout, disconnection, and losing touch with the very essence of who we are. At its core, self-care is about balance. It's about nourishing your body with healthy food, moving it regularly through exercise, and caring for your mental and emotional health through mindfulness practices. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency and making choices that promote your overall health and happiness. Whether it's eating a nutritious meal, taking a walk in nature, or setting aside time for reflection, these small acts of self-care accumulate to create a strong foundation for your well-being. Taking care of yourself starts with paying attention to your body's needs. Nutrition is an essential part of this. The food you eat has a direct impact on how you feel, both physically and emotionally. A balanced, nutrient-rich diet fuels your body, helping you to stay energized and focused throughout the day. It's not about depriving yourself or adhering to restrictive diets, but about nourishing yourself in a way that supports your long-term health and vitality. When you prioritize healthy eating, you're showing respect for your body and providing it with the fuel it needs to thrive. Exercise is another cornerstone of self-care. It doesn't have to be intense or time-consuming. It just needs to be something that gets your body moving. Regular physical activity, whether it's a morning stretch, a yoga class, or a walk in the park, helps reduce stress, boost your mood, and improve your overall physical health. Exercise is one of the most effective ways to release pent-up tension and improve mental clarity. When you take time to care for your body in this way, you're not only improving your physical health but also enhancing your emotional resilience. But self-care isn't just about physical well-being, it's equally about mental and emotional health. Taking time to relax, to reflect, and to unwind is crucial for maintaining balance and peace in your life. This can be as simple as practicing mindfulness or meditation, journaling your thoughts, or just setting aside time for yourself to be still and recharge. In a world that's constantly demanding our attention, carving out space for mental relaxation is an essential act of self-respect. It allows you to center yourself, gain perspective, and approach the world from a place of inner peace rather than stress and overwhelm. When you commit to self-care, something remarkable happens. You start to exude confidence. When you're physically healthy, mentally at peace, and emotionally grounded, It shows in the way you carry yourself. Your energy becomes magnetic. You radiate positivity and a sense of well-being that naturally draws others in. People are attracted to those who take care of themselves because it's a reflection of someone who knows their worth and values their own needs. Self-care creates a ripple effect. It not only improves your own life, but it also positively impacts those around you. In the end, self-care is not a selfish act. It's the art of investing in yourself so you can show up in the world in the best possible way. It's the practice of tuning into your body, mind, and emotions, and making decisions that nurture your well-being. When you practice self-care consistently, you naturally attract positive energy, cultivate confidence, and become a source of inspiration for others. It's an ongoing process of honoring yourself and creating a life that reflects balance, health, and inner peace. Self-care is often misunderstood as a shallow, self-indulgent act, but it is, in fact, one of the most profound and powerful ways to honor yourself. It goes beyond the surface of beauty rituals or spa days. It's about truly respecting your body, mind, and spirit in a way that aligns with your values and needs. It's about finding balance in the chaos of everyday life, creating moments of peace, and nurturing yourself to maintain your physical, mental, and emotional health. When you commit to self-care, you are not only enhancing your own life, but you are also creating the foundation from which you can give to others in a meaningful way. At its core, self-care is a practice of self-respect. It's about recognizing that you deserve to feel good, to be healthy, and to live with purpose and intention. It's about doing the things that make you feel grounded, happy, and energized, so you can show up as your best self in every area of your life. The truth is, if you don't take care of yourself first, it becomes nearly impossible to take care of others or pursue your goals with the energy and focus they require. It's the foundation for everything you do, and without it, you risk burnout, exhaustion, and a sense of disconnection from your true self. To practice self-care, the basics must be prioritized. Eating healthily is one of the most fundamental acts of self-care. The food you choose to fuel your body with has an undeniable impact on your energy, mood, and overall well-being. When you nourish yourself with nutrient-dense foods, fresh vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, you give your body the support it needs to perform at its best. Healthy eating isn't about restriction or deprivation, but about providing your body with what it truly needs to thrive. The benefits go beyond physical health. When you nourish your body properly, you feel more vibrant, more alive, and more capable of handling the challenges life throws your way. Exercise is another cornerstone of self-care. It's not about pushing your body to the limit or adhering to unrealistic fitness goals, but rather about moving your body in a way that feels good and supports your health. Whether it's a brisk walk, yoga, strength training, or dancing, exercise is a powerful tool for reducing stress, boosting your mood, and keeping your body strong. It doesn't have to be intense or time-consuming, but regular movement helps release endorphins, improve circulation, and keep your mind sharp. When you take time to exercise, you're not just taking care of your body, you're creating space for mental clarity and emotional well-being. However, self-care is incomplete without mental relaxation. In a world that constantly demands our attention, it's easy to become mentally overwhelmed. Taking time to rest your mind and nurture your emotional health is just as important as physical self-care. Practicing mindfulness, meditation, or simply spending time in nature can help reduce stress and restore your inner peace. Whether it's journaling, listening to calming music, or disconnecting from technology for a while, mental relaxation is essential for maintaining balance. It's during these moments of quiet that you can reflect, recharge, and reconnect with your inner self. The beauty of self-care is that when you take the time to invest in yourself, you naturally begin to radiate confidence and positive energy. You become a magnet for people who are drawn to your authenticity, your vitality, and your sense of well-being. The more you care for yourself, the more you have to offer to others. When you are at peace with yourself, you bring that calm energy into every interaction, creating a ripple effect that lifts up those around you. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the act of choosing yourself, of setting boundaries, and of filling your own cup so you can pour into others. It's the practice of nurturing your mind, body, and soul so you can live a life that feels fulfilling, balanced, and true to who you are. When you commit to self-care, you commit to living a life of intention and well-being, where you honor yourself and, in turn, create a life that is deeply rooted in health, happiness, and fulfillment. Emotional intelligence is often regarded as one of the most powerful skills in building deep, meaningful connections with others. It's not about being overly emotional or suppressing feelings. It's about understanding your own emotions and managing them in a way that allows you to navigate life with balance and grace. More importantly, emotional intelligence enables you to tune into the emotions of others, creating a space where you can relate to their experiences, offer support, and communicate in a way that fosters trust and connection. The importance of emotional intelligence cannot be overstated. It's the cornerstone of great relationships, whether personal or professional, because it allows you to connect on a deeper level. When you understand your own emotional responses and can regulate them, you are more likely to engage with others in a calm and thoughtful manner. This emotional regulation helps prevent conflicts and misunderstandings, allowing you to approach situations with clarity and insight. Furthermore, when you can recognize the emotions of others, you become more empathetic, and empathy is what transforms ordinary interactions into powerful, supportive exchanges. Developing emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness. It's about understanding your emotional triggers, those situations or behaviors that push your buttons, and recognizing how they affect your thoughts, actions, and overall mood. Once you become more attuned to these emotional responses, you can begin to respond more thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This is key to emotional intelligence because when you pause to reflect, you give yourself the space to choose your response, which is often more constructive and empowering. It's easy to fall into the trap of reacting emotionally to stress, criticism, or challenges, but emotional intelligence asks you to take a step back, assess the situation, and respond with intention. Self-awareness is also about being in tune with your own feelings and understanding how they shape your actions. Are you feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, or excited? Recognizing these emotions allows you to adjust your mindset and behavior accordingly. For example, if you recognize that you're feeling frustrated, you might choose to take a moment to breathe or step away from the situation before addressing it. This self-regulation is a key aspect of emotional intelligence, as it prevents knee-jerk reactions that could negatively impact relationships. The next step in developing emotional intelligence is empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's not just about listening to what someone is saying. It's about feeling their emotions and responding with care and understanding. To be empathetic, you need to listen with intention, not just for what's being said but for the emotions beneath the words. When someone is upset, frustrated, or happy, acknowledging and validating their emotions creates a sense of safety and trust. It shows that you care about them as a person, not just their words. Empathy is a powerful tool because it connects people on a human level. It makes you more approachable, more understanding, and more emotionally available. When you show empathy, you make people feel seen, heard, and valued, and that builds strong, lasting bonds. Whether it's comforting a friend who's going through a tough time or offering support to a colleague dealing with a difficult project. Empathy is what makes you not just a good listener, but a person others can rely on. What's truly powerful about emotional intelligence is that it naturally enhances your attractiveness. It's not about looking a certain way or saying the right things. It's about creating an environment where people feel understood and valued. When you approach relationships with emotional intelligence, self-awareness and empathy, you become magnetic because you connect with people on a deeper, more authentic level. You're not just a person they know. You're someone who makes them feel safe, valued, and understood. In a world where everyone is consumed with their own emotions, people who are emotionally intelligent stand out. They don't need to be the loudest or most charismatic person in the room. They simply need to be present, attuned to the emotions of others, and capable of offering support, kindness, and understanding. These qualities make them approachable, trustworthy, and, in many ways, unforgettable. Consistency and reliability are two of the most powerful traits you can possess. Not because they are flashy or immediately impressive, but because they build trust and create a foundation of respect. In a world that often seems unpredictable and full of uncertainty, people are naturally drawn to those who can be counted on. When you follow through on your commitments, no matter how small, you demonstrate an unwavering sense of responsibility and integrity that others begin to value and respect. The beauty of consistency is that it doesn't require grand gestures or constant validation. It simply requires you to show up, day in and day out, as the person you say you are. This is how you earn trust. Reliability is more than just a nice quality to have. It's a crucial part of building relationships, both personally and professionally. The truth is, people won't trust you if they don't know whether or not you'll deliver on your promises. Think about it. How many times have you been let down by someone who couldn't keep their word? Or who constantly flaked out on plans? That inconsistency creates doubt and disappointment, and over time, it erodes the foundation of any relationship. On the other hand, when you're someone who always follows through, who keeps their word and shows up when expected, you establish yourself as someone people can rely on. Becoming reliable starts with the small promises, the things that might seem insignificant at first glance but are actually the building blocks of a solid reputation. It's about saying what you mean and meaning what you say. If you tell someone you'll be there. If you commit to something, follow through. These small acts of consistency create a ripple effect that strengthens the trust people have in you. Over time, as you continue to demonstrate your reliability, others begin to see you as a stable presence in their lives. They know they can count on you, and that's one of the most powerful forms of respect you can earn. But reliability isn't just about keeping promises, it's about showing up. Even when it's inconvenient, even when you're tired, even when life throws curveballs your way. Life can be chaotic, and there will be times when things don't go as planned. However, what truly defines someone's reliability is their ability to remain steadfast, to push through challenges, and to do what they said they would do. Regardless of the circumstances, it's about demonstrating resilience and a commitment to your word, even when it requires effort or sacrifice. This is where consistency comes into play. It's not enough to be reliable once or twice. Consistency means that you're dependable over the long term. It means that people can rely on you in both good times and bad. When you are consistent, you build trust in a way that isn't dependent on occasional acts of heroism, but on a steady, unshakable presence that others can always count on. What's fascinating about consistency is that it doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't need to be in your face or require constant attention. Instead, it's the quiet reassurance that you'll always show up, that your word is your bond, and that people can trust you without hesitation. This reliability is magnetic. It draws others to you, and it's the foundation of strong, lasting relationships, whether in your personal life or in your professional endeavors. In a world that often values speed, novelty, and the flashy, consistency is the rare, understated quality that sets you apart. It's the thing that allows you to build long-term trust and earn the respect of those around you. And the best part, you don't have to announce it. Your actions speak louder than any declaration of intent ever could. Through your consistent behavior, you become the person others can depend on, and that is a quality that will always be valued. True attractiveness doesn't rely on loud gestures or trying to fit into a mold that others expect. It's about the habits you cultivate, the way you carry yourself, and the energy you exude without even having to try. Real magnetism is rooted in authenticity, inner strength, and emotional intelligence, and these are qualities that, when developed, create an aura around you that naturally draws others in. It's the quiet power of being so comfortable with who you are that your presence commands respect without you ever having to announce it. By incorporating these 11 habits into your life, you'll begin to see the transformation. It's not about becoming someone you're not. It's about unlocking the best version of yourself. Every small habit, whether it's showing up consistently, embracing emotional intelligence, or practicing self-care, builds upon the other, and over time, they create a persona that is magnetic, authentic, and undeniable. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being real, grounded, and constantly evolving into someone who exudes a quiet, unwavering confidence. What makes these habits so powerful is that they're not something you have to force. They're about living with purpose, with authenticity, and with a mindset that values inner growth. As you integrate these habits into your daily life, you'll notice a subtle shift. The need for external validation will start to fade, and you'll find yourself more at peace with who you are. And here's the thing. When you stop chasing attention, you naturally attract it. People are drawn to confidence that comes from within, to someone who doesn't need to boast about their worth because it's evident in the way they carry themselves. But here's the crucial part. This transformation begins today. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment or when things feel right. Start incorporating these habits now. Start by practicing emotional intelligence in every conversation, showing up reliably in every situation, and embracing the power of self-care. Each of these small actions compounds over time, building your confidence, your attractiveness, and your ability to connect with others on a deeper level. As you make these habits a part of your life, you'll begin to radiate a kind of energy that can't be ignored. You won't need to chase attention anymore because people will be naturally drawn to the confidence, grace, and authenticity you exude. It won't be about what you say or do to impress others. It will be about who you are at your core. And that's the most magnetic thing of all. So, take that first step today. Start building the habits that will make you naturally magnetic. Don't worry about the outcome. Just focus on living authentically, with purpose and quiet confidence. In time, you'll see how your presence begins to speak for itself, and the respect and admiration you once sought will come to you effortlessly. You'll be living proof that true attractiveness is not about seeking attention, but about becoming the kind of person others can't help but be drawn to.